I've been contacted by a very passionate activist in New Zealand. Her name is Mary Haddock Stanlin, and she is the global senior vice president of DEIB, Evercom. She's a very passionate advocate for human rights, equal rights, all across the board. And she did read my first book, The Maybelline Prince. And then she found out we made a movie. And this is what she wants to know about why we made the movie. The movie itself is called Maybelline Prince, no "the" in front of it. So in case you're actually looking for the book on Amazon, it's The Maybelline Prince. The movie is not released yet. It will be in a few months. She asks me, what inspired you to create Maybelline Prince? And what message or themes are you hoping to convey through the story? Well, aside from the fact that it is a page-turner, trust me, it's full of everything: sex, rock and roll, Dixie Mafia, celebrities, money, glamour, you name it, it's all there. But that's just the style of the book, because all of these events really happen that you'll read. Most of it's about a young man coming from California who was gay, openly gay, but not flaunting, and came into a town with a very powerful, wealthy, glamorous woman, his mentor and muse, and literally kind of took over the city of Hot Springs, Arkansas, in a nice way. He influenced all the young people to be more than what they were. Most of them were poor. Most of them were like rugrats, street kids. He did a tremendous amount of life-changing and didn't realize what he was really doing. And that was me. And it was the kickoff for the rest of my life. But it is a very dramatic story. And a friend of mine who I helped through college, nurtured through college, went into cinematography and movie film production and so on, and became a successful movie music production, video producer. And he had tremendous talent. He knew me very well, and he read the book, and finally he decided, okay, this does have to be a movie. And so after much talk and talking to people in studios and learning the whole Hollywood smoke and mirrors routine, we did produce the film, a real one, in the movie, in the studios, in locations everywhere. It was quite an experience for me. I learned that I loved it. I learned that I was actually kind of good at it. Why did I do that 100 years ago instead of when I'm in my late 70s? But anyway, that's how it got going, is those different events. It said she says here, the characters in Maybelline Prince are unique and relatable. How did you approach developing these characters to ensure they represented you well? This is kind of funny, Mary. Are you asking me how did we teach the people that we cast to play the real characters that were in the book? Because everybody was real, including me. No, we actually cast people that could fulfill the actual person that they were portraying. And it wasn't always easy, but we did it. And of course, when you're doing a movie script, you don't do it like a 1,000-page book. You change things here and there. People don't look the same as described in the book, but they're still basically the same character. So that we didn't have to develop anything. We just had to relay our best talent available. It also mentions here, Mary writes, every film has its challenges. Yes, that's true. During production, can you share some of the significant challenges you faced while making Maybelline Prince and how you overcame them? This is a funny answer. Well, the one thing was COVID, because this was during COVID. So it was like a big pain. Everybody had to be tested and all that. That was a big fold. The other difficulties were getting some people into character that were maybe too young for the part, but in the end, they all surprised us and came through. We had people on the production, professional people, all these people had done movies and television before. And on the last day of the shoot, they were in tears. They didn't want to leave. They said, we want to stay in this production. We're so sad it's leaving. It was amazing how emotional everybody felt doing this piece of art. So it is a labor of love. Everybody actually learned to love their position once we worked with them and highlighted them. You know, in movie productions, a lot of people are lost and forgotten about. They're just techies and nobody pays any attention. Well, we paid attention to everybody. And I think it was a family affair that really made this film so unbelievable and so viewable. Last question was, how has the audience reception been so far? And are there any particular moments or feedbacks from viewers that stood out to you or moved you deeply? Yes. So far, we won the California Film Festival Award, Los Angeles Award for Best Film. There's a couple other ones. At every film festival, the audience was full of questions afterwards. They all related to all the characters, very much so. Some of them, I think, individually. Evelyn F. Williams' character was the most amazing. Most of the women wanted to know how she did this, why she did that, all the kind of things that happened up into the tragic and horrible and very graphic death. Some people cried at that scene. I did. There was an emotional attachment to these things because once you start seeing it, you become wrapped up in it. It is a period film. It all happened in the 70s, but it's real, and people were touched emotionally. So there were tears and there were emotional things that came out of this so far. I haven't had anybody say anything negative. Of course, reviews will come out at a certain date, and, you know, you will take the bad with the good. It doesn't matter because it is exactly what it is. But I think the film will become a classic. It certainly will become very much lauded by the LGBTQ plus community because it does shine a lot of light on that, people's struggles, being with themselves. I know years later, many people would call me from Little Rock, guys would call me from Little Rock, other places, and say they were very young when they first met me, when we had that roller rink in Hot Springs. And they thought I was so glamorous and so handsome, and Miss Williams was so like a movie star and all this stuff. And they said this changed their lives because they quietly kept their sexual preference to themselves and then finally came out to their families. You know, finally decided, okay, if Danné Montague-King, I'm Danné King in the movie, did this, and look at all he accomplished, we can do it too. And I was kind of touched by getting these things. Because, see, you don't know how you're influencing young people until years later. I didn't think, well, I'm going to influence these people to come out. I didn't even know. But they did. So I think it will resonate as a classic because we're not focusing on sex to any degree or anything like that. You know, there's a lot of there's a series that's out now that I think is rather good. I won't mention the name of it because I'm criticizing it. Incredibly good series, but it was almost pornographic. And I don't mind doing that, but when you're telling a true story that has a moral impact and a mental impact, you have to not focus on the seamy and sensational sides that sell films. You have to focus on the true story. So I truly think this will take its place in as some kind of a classic. So, Mary, thank you for your questions. You can contact me anytime if you have any more. And when the movie is released, they are doing a red carpet in August in Australia. So you might want to check and see if you can fit into that. It's going to be a very glamorous affair and a lot of fun. And you're right there. You're, 2-3 hours away. You might want to come and see that so you can see the film before it's actually released. We're holding the real release until after that date. Thank you very much, Mary. I'm glad I can talk to you because your questions were great.